everybody, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Hope your week's going good. Hope some good things happen to you this week. Hope that you are feeling loved and filled with joy. I wanted to talk. I was getting ready today and I was like, I just need to make a video about this because I don't see too much about it in the community. Maybe there is. I just personally myself haven't seen so much, and it's scary being very raw and open about it because I don't think a lot of us want to remember who we were, but it's going to help people that are coming into this now that might be able to recognize like some patterns that they're doing that they can maybe prevent or realize why they're doing it. So, substance abuse. It's a hard one. It's really a hard one, but let me tell you a little bit about my history. Growing up in a Christian home, when I was, telling my mother, I was also adopted. So when I would tell my mother who adopted me, like, I hear things, I see things, I this, I that, we have hypersensitivities that not a lot of people have. So we're able to empathize with people or have intuition. And this was a no-no in the Christian church. This was, oh no. And it made me sad. It made me feel like the black sheep. It made me feel like I was wrong or there's something not right with me. This is terrible, a terrible place to feel like you're doing something wrong. So as I grew up, I used to get sick in the morning before I even went to school. I was dealing with a lot of trauma at home. I had a lot of childhood trauma, and a lot of it is covered up. A lot of it is like, you don't talk about this. So I was dealing with that. I was dealing with going to school and then having to like be around people that, felt their energy, felt their stuff. So growing up, at 14, I had my parents' divorce. I didn't have that, but my parents divorced, and then we separated, and just going through all of this. Okay, I think a lot of us have these kind of backgrounds. If you didn't, awesome. And that, this doesn't mean that you're not going to get anything from this, because then you can help other people. But it was one of those things where at 14 I started having such severe anxiety to where I didn't even want to go to the grocery store. I was terrified. So I did go into the doctor, and of course they want to give you stuff for anxiety. So here we are, having gifts, being now drugged to not feel that way, to not have that, so then you get shut off for a while. So then you get into where you're growing up and you're having to get the jobs and the normal, you have to have this and you have to have that in order to fit in, and you're going with it. You're going with it, hoping for the best, and then along the way maybe you start having health problems and you can't keep up because you're doing something that you were not made to do. You are made for something else. So it's finding out now. I'm understanding who I am, who and what I am. I don't need to take this stuff anymore. It was back in 2013, I actually had a woman come up to me in a coffee shop, and she was like, just came in one door, looked me in the eye, and that's when I should have listened, but we're stubborn, and told me, you are one of them, aren't you? An indigo child or whatever. So of course, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then she just like walked out the other door. That shook me. I always remember that lady. Of course, at that point in time, I thought she's needing some help with something. I don't know if she's all right, but I hope she is. No, I'm not crazy lady, right? But we go through this. We go through just weird things that happen, and we get to where we're at. So I did, at that point, I was still taking stuff for anxiety. And it got to the point where I was taking too much because you build a tolerance to it, right? And so then you don't really tell anybody, you're just trying to keep up, and I couldn't anymore. My body was so sick and tired of being in a fog, being in a haze, and being shut off, because it shuts you off from source. It shuts you off from your gifts and who you are. So that was just the little bit of it that it was for me. But there are a lot of people that struggle with even harder drugs, harder things, alcohol. I did battle with that for a little bit, a couple of years, where after work I couldn't shut off, so that's what it was, you know. But I think that we go through these things, we go through this stuff because we need such a shaking in our soul, our soul shock, to say, this is not you, dear, this is not you. Wake up and see how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, that these things are not bad. And I finally got to that point. So when you do start loving yourself, and I was laughing, when I get ready, I think about a lot of stuff. And one of the things that entered my mind was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. When I was a kid, I loved that show. Oh my gosh, when I grow up, here's 11-year-old me. I'm gonna slay demons, and I am going to just kick butt. I'm gonna be so awesome. So awesome. Well, you slay your own demons. I'm not good enough. I am not worthy enough. I'm scared to. I shouldn't be able to do this. Limiting beliefs, all of these things that you tell yourself, guilt, fear, anger. Another thing as far as communicating with parents, when you do grow up in this type of environment, that it was hard for me to speak to my mom. And when I did get off of, the anti-anxiety medication, it's like I couldn't really talk to my mom the same. And we forget that our parents have childhood wounds too to heal. And it just got to the point where I started growing, I started understanding, I started seeing things. And so then we didn't really communicate in the way that it was. I even went through this time where I struggled. I said to my mom, I said, did you like me better when I was taking this stuff? Because me standing up for myself or me speaking back, that was taken the wrong way. She was used to me not saying anything and just taking my anxiety meds and being just that drone, that zoned out, not really here. So I just wanted to talk about this because it's really stuff that a lot of us go through, struggle with substance abuse, and then you get lost. So I not only slayed my own demons, but now I'm at the place where I'm able to help others slay theirs. Identify what it is they need to work on. When you see your friends now and you're out of that, right? So here's your newness, your new self, your higher self. You understand and see things, and you're observing and watching, and then you see your friends still, drinking and doing all this stuff, and you're just like, do you know why you're doing this? Do you know why you're still doing this? You gotta fight. You've got so much more in you. And so you cheer from them from the sidelines, and you're like, wake up. You are so much more awesome. You are so much more beautiful, and just love yourself, because self-love is that transformation, that shock, that, oh my gosh, we are here for so much more. We are here for so much more. So if you're struggling with drinking, taking pills, substance abuse, please do not hold that guilt or that shame, or you're going to get past it if you choose to. You're going to, if you're on the spiritual path, you will find yourself. You will find out why you were doing that. So keep going, keep fighting, and know that you are not alone, and you are going to make it. And you'll be able to help people and help them with their transformation. And it just gives me goosebumps now and chills that our stories are transformative stories. We didn't always end up like this, so you have to balance duality. There's no darkness without light, and there's no light without darkness. You have to embrace both in order to see. So I really truly love you guys. I hope this has been a help to you. Reach out if you want to book an appointment. Let's get you started. And it's www.christinawalsh.net, and I would love to hear from you. What are you struggling with? Let me know. I love you guys. Take care.